The best AI podcast where we'll continue to grow. A world of innovation where dreams become reality. Come join the movement, let's take AI to the next level. We're breaking barriers, rewriting the code. Together we'll conquer, watch our ideas unfold. The future starts here, joining the revolution. Let's say our podcast, the ultimate solution.
That's what it is, the ultimate solution. I'm going to have to turn my audio down here. It looks like for some reason, every time the second I go on air, I'm picking up that other audio over there if I don't do that. So welcome to the broadcast. This is Leland Best of Best Live TV and three of my cohorts over here at Best AI Podcast. If you're looking for any of the previous episodes, good luck. You're probably not going to find them because I don't think I ever uploaded them. But we got to see, we got to the 10th episode. Things started to kind of break apart. We had a lot going on with Brad. We had people not showing up and some other things, but we had some really good shows. So if you can find them, they're out there somewhere. Go hunt them down. Use AI or something. You'll be able to find them. But until then, we're just going to carry on with this episode as the season 1 finale. So what that means is we're going to be back, but for the summer, everybody gets to enjoy the 4th of July and the poolside and hanging out with the kids. So we're not going to take you away from any of that, but we will come back at the end of August when school starts, probably around Labor Day, and get things back on the road again. The workshop will continue on Wednesday at noon out here. Ross and I and whoever else wants to join us are free to hang out there in that Zoom. It is a scheduled Zoom webinar, so if you want to find it on the top of my Facebook page, you can register there, and there should be also a link on the Best AI Podcast Facebook page. Other than that, we're just going to kind of go through what we've got today to catch you all up on what's happening in the AI news. We're going to cover some music apps and some automations. Sorry, I caught a bubble there. Get some automations before we head out for the day. And then we're just going to wrap it up with the idea that this is just going to continue to grow. So we're not going to be playing catch up in 3 months. We are going to continue to follow along the processing, the evolution of AI. And in that, I want you to all go around and we'll tell you where to all find us individually as we leave the broadcast so that you don't miss anything that's going on. You'll be able to at least see some of the avenues that we're taking before we come back. So welcome back, everybody. What do you got going on today?
Hey.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You guys. So Lee, you got any news for us today?
I do. I got a couple of things going on I can mention to you. Of course, one of the big ones, if you're an Apple guy, is the Monday is the Apple Developer Conference, the WWDC they call it. And it looks like that Apple's finally gonna jump into the AI space. They've kind of been avoiding that term and calling it machine learning and that kind of stuff. Anyway, I expect that they're going to partner with OpenAI. I think we're going to see a bunch of announcements, a whole new Siri kind of a thing. In fact, I predict when I looked at the announcement that OpenAI made a few weeks ago, it looked to me like they were holding back a lot of stuff that Apple's going to announce, in my opinion, the voice stuff, that type of thing. So it sounds like they're going to integrate AI with not just Siri, but also with their photos and some other things. So that'll be good to see finally get caught up.
Now, one thing I meant, I dropped something about that video creator app that's come out in competition against Saurus. So what was the name of that app?
It's called, yes, it's a Chinese organization. It's called Kling, Kling. And it looked pretty impressive. It's not available yet to the public. Apparently, you have to have a Chinese phone number to be able to register and get on the wait list. But it looks pretty good, which is, I was saying before the show, I'm really excited about what's going on in the video space. It's so cool to see this text video and then video to video kind of capability. I think by the end of the year, it's going to really, really be taken off.
Take a look real quick. I know we put a post on the Facebook page is where we're broadcasting. By the way, if you are watching us from any other source than Facebook or YouTube right now, we won't be able to pick up your comments. So come over to the Facebook page at Best AI Podcast or the YouTube channel where we're broadcasting right now. Yeah, I'm looking for that post because I know I left it on there, and there were a couple others I wanted to cover too. With NVIDIA, because there's some really cool stuff going on with NVIDIA's hardware, which is allowing people to actually have an agent right on their computer using the NVIDIA RTX video card and the software that's built into the chips on the card. So it's basically a ROM access to an application that allows you to not only in some ways run and help you with your gaming, like was the original intent, but it can help you structure your file system and help you organize your computer and all kinds of other cool stuff like that I haven't even looked into yet. So a couple of drops that we did recently over on the Facebook page. And
Yeah.
I kind of threw Chris a task at another audio app that's come out. Did you get a chance to look at that, Chris?
I did not. I'm so sorry. I failed the
that's
homework
okay.
assignment.
I guess it was a late assignment. It came in at the last second, so it's no big deal. I'm not too concerned about it.
Chris,
Which
it
one
gave
is
you a
that?
whole 2 minutes. Come on.
Yeah, I think I
Really?
gave about that long.
Your
No,
AI just hit a button. You should have done it all for you.
No, Stable Diffusion came out with their audio compilation just recently, and they call it Stable Audio Open. So that's a new app that's available on the Stable Diffusion end. I have not tried it myself. Supposedly, what it does say on the post, and if you haven't been reading some of the posts out at Best AI Podcast, go take a look. I managed to create an AI post bot, an evolution of my original post bot back about almost a year ago now. And it's doing all the posting for us. So it's set up to go. It's creating its own content. It's creating its own images. And before long, I'm hoping to have it answering its own comments to the posts. So we're working on that part. But as far as the Stable Audio Open it's a groundbreaking AI model from Stability AI. And I meant to say Stability, not Stable Diffusion. And what it's allowing you to do is it can generate drum beats, instrument riffs, ambient noises, and production elements from your videos, films, and TV shows, all royalty free. And it can also edit existing songs or apply the style of one song to another. And the best part, they say, is that you can fine-tune the model on your own custom audio data. So drummers, get ready to generate fresh beats using samples of your own recordings. So that's where things I think are really going to start to evolve when we can infuse, Ross, our fusion here of AI and music and just the actual playing of it, I think is going to be really cool. So,
yeah.
What do you got,
That's
Ross?
really cool.
Or sorry, go ahead, Chris. I didn't mean
just
to cut you off there.
Sorry, just want to comment on the music portion with that AI, which is really cool because stems for music were recently released for DJs, which means it takes a portion of the audio track. You can pull out vocals or instruments or the beat, and that was being used to mix music together to create different styles and mashups. But it's interesting now; it will create its own and generate its own AI samples to put out there for people to use. That's really exciting with that customization to it.
Yeah.
I love the audio stuff and the videos. Go ahead. What
That's
do you
all
think?
for me, and I'll kick it over to Voss.
Listen, I've been in with the dev teams this week. I've been doing all this stuff. I did not see any AI news, so I'm here to learn from y'all this week. That's really, I am a participant viewer this week. I just wanted to be here for the final episode of the season.
Well, you guys, are you familiar with the Raspberry Pi? Have you ever seen a Raspberry Pi before?
Somebody excitement.
Is that Brad?
The ghost of Brad? What?
He's from these.
No.
I was saying
that
that the Raspberry Pi, I'm familiar with what those are, little small single board computer. They've also announced some kind of AI board that goes, you can now, I was like, well, how do you do that on those things? So I've got a couple of those little boxes. I got to figure out what's going on with that. Apparently, one of the demos they showed was the ability to have a camera and it recognize a person and memorize that information. That was pretty cool.
I'll be excited to see Raspberry Pi bring themselves into the AI game just because they run on Linux, which is just so stripped down. It's the basic systems. I think that could be really, really powerful if Linux starts doing some stuff with Raspberry Pi and getting AI in the mix.
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about this, I think, week before last about these models and how the models now are getting smaller and smaller and better and faster just for that reason, so they can run on less hardware. Which is the other thing you were talking about, Leland, that NVIDIA has announced this new Blackwell, I think it is, this next series of chips are 40% or 30 or something percent less, more efficient. Meaning you can run more stuff on them for less power and less cost. That's the key there. The more that hardware comes out, the more it allows these models to run faster for less money. That's where the key is, how the acceleration is going to happen.
Yeah, these new CPUs, or what are they calling them? ACUs now, I believe, are the latest term for these AI generating CPUs and GPU combinations. It's like the latest in AI hardware. And even, Windows, with the way the software builds are going, you're going to find the operating systems are going to be so infused with AI as well that it's going to require a system of certain caliber in order to even run the operating system. So, and I know a lot of people are already ticked off at that when you consider the fact that making a double jump like that to an operating system and having requirements of hardware that are beyond a lot of, your typical consumers reach makes it very difficult for people to keep up with the technology. And I think that's the wrong way to approach it. They really need to make this technology inexpensive enough for people of all types to get their hands on it. Otherwise, you've got a monopoly on your hands with all the people that have all the money taking all the hardware and all the resources that are able to develop these processes and leaving them out of the hands of the people who could use them just as well. So I hate to see that happen.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's just make this small. I'm not really here to have a full-on show. Since this is a finale, I'm not here to make it a broadcast typical of your normal broadcast. And I'll explain why. We brought this whole best AI podcast concept together for a simple reason. And that was to put some people of like-mindedness together to talk about AI and to bring it to the masses and to help those who are having a hard time doing so understand what it is that AI is capable of, how it can be used as a tool, and it's not something that should be feared. So the idea was to get us in a round table environment, of campsite, fireside camp environment of sorts, a fireside chat, let's call it, and just enjoy the conversation and not make this a big technical thing like you see in a lot of these AI presentations. What we've been able to do, and I apologize for my slurring here. I've got other things going on over here that we have a cat that's really in distress, and so I'm kind of in distress myself. He's going to the vet tomorrow though, so he'll be fine. What we want to do from here on out is keep the workshops going. That's going to be the standard go-to as we move ahead, so everybody gets their hands on this technology and gets to feel it and see what it's actually capable of. And then we'll come back in the fall, toward the fall, and start a whole new series, which will be really geared toward a pre-planned production. I think we'll have some content generated ahead of time where you guys aren't just seeing us on the fly, but we like that soft landing, right? We don't want to come in here as though it's a hard scripted presentation. That's not what we're here for. So if you guys have any thoughts of things that you would like to see on the broadcast going forward in season 2, please leave those comments on the posts and we'll be sure to pick them up and add those to the itinerary. So what do you guys think we should do next season? Anything special? Do you have any thoughts on where this could go?
I think this AI thing's dead. It's not going anywhere. Boring. It'll be gone in 6 months. No, it's a fad. Just like computers, they're too complicated. Nobody will ever use one.
I would love to see more automations that you've mixed in with AI, because I think that's really cool to see that. Do you mind sharing that automation with us, or save it for the workshop?
Oh no, I'm gonna probably some of this stuff, as I move ahead, there will be some of these automations that I'll be selling. And there will be some of them that I'm just going to present. And there's some that I'll present like a lot of people do. I'll give you the basic structure of everything, but there'll be that little secret sauce in there that I'm not going to give away. That's all. So, but to those people, obviously, who are close to me, who work with me, they're going to see the inside workings of a lot of the stuff that I do. And I hope I can help others to then inspire them to also build stuff, because this stuff's really not that difficult. So if you want to jump in, I can jump in on the one I just built. This is one I think you guys will really enjoy, so just give me a second to set it up. This is
I think you're onto something. Leland, I was saying before, I think this whole AI agent is really the key, and what's going to be going. I think that's going to be the real implementation of AI, where you can say, okay, find me this information. I was watching a presentation a couple of days ago, and they were discussing this about how you can take a current AI model and make it almost like an AGI system because it can reiterate. So in other words, the AI, the bot or the agent can go, no, that's not right. Do it again. Do it again. And because it can give it more information and it can take that information and repurpose it, the thing gets smarter and smarter. And so that was one of the things that I got excited about agents, where not only is it automated, but it can also go out and learn from other agents talking to it. So,
and that's the one you're going to see here today. This one's
oh,
going to probably make Ross smile because he's going to know where we're going to apply this next. I dropped the image to him just a few minutes ago in another chat, so this is his first seeing this too. This is late node. Okay, I mentioned this package builder not too long ago. I've partnered with latenode.com, which is basically the same as Make. It's the same as Zapier and Pabbly. It's just another node building RPA. And what that means is it's a robotic process application, which allows you to string things together and work in a workflow that moves things from one step to the next, to the next, to the next, until it gets to the end. So in this case, I took a basic structure of a master worker agent concept, and I went a little further and dug in and decided to make something of it. So what this does is this is what I'm calling an AI agent prompt builder. So Ross, you know that when we go to build agents for a lot of these builds, we have to come up with a conversational goal and purpose for the bot. And in your system?
Yeah. So depending on how the client wants to use the AI, in my case, Ava, AI virtual assistant, we go through and we set a goal. So let's just assume that the goal is to book an appointment with the end user. So customer wants to book an appointment with business. The end goal is going to be to get that customer to book the appointment and qualify them, vet them, answer all their questions ahead of time so that the end user, the business, can have all that information when they go to talk with them, and they didn't have to waste that time doing that, so they can spend more time building that relationship and finding a solution. So then we go through and we give it its purpose, which is where we build its persona. We give it the personality that it's going to take, the data that it needs to collect, the framework that it's going to use, and we give it the guidelines. So if you're not aware of what AI does, it is one of the best things in the world at data recall. So its world knowledge is more vast than anybody out there. So what we do is we take that world knowledge and we give it what it's lacking, which is context and the framework of how that conversation goes. So that's where we go with the goal and the purpose.
Very cool. And in order to set your customers up with that primary goal and purpose, if say they're, they've got a hair salon and they know they have a hair salon, but they don't necessarily know what their AI agent's conversational goal and purpose is going to be. So how do you create that currently?
Yeah. So what I do is I take frameworks, and a lot of them, if it's somebody that I've never worked with before, an industry I haven't worked with before, we test a generic framework and we take all of the information that they need to collect. And what I've done on the back end is I've created forms that go to OpenAI, use my framework that I prompt, and it will send back a custom version of that for the user on that back end. Now, we also have specific frameworks for different industries, and we do the same exact thing. What's your business name? What's the questions you want? What's the conversation look like? The persona. It goes through to the frameworks we built, and it spits back out the prompts that we need to train the AI. So that's,
So cool.
I'm guessing, what you're going to get at here, Leland. I'm excited about
I
this.
took it one step further for you, Ross, to make it a little easier on you. So the way this works is we've got two possibilities on prompts. One, it can set up, I've gone ahead and set up the variables. So let me just explain the steps that take place here first. I've created a master agent and a worker agent. So what takes place is we have a prompt that is coming in, whether that's from a form, this is the trigger, I should say, or if it's a manual power up where I just flip the switch and it takes off. So in the prompt form, this is going to be selecting a webhook from whatever form structure I'm using to create the variables input into the variables here. So I can take a quick look and show you the variable structure that I came up with here, with stuff like the agent task, the agent goal, the niche industry, the business persona, the client persona, the bot persona, the company name, the product or service, the agent name, the agent role, and the end game, which is basically to acquire new customers through live interactions with the AI agent. So the variables that would stay here are the agent task and agent goal, and that's to make the master AI agent create the prompt. So instead of us creating the framework up front, we simply ask the GPT to say, okay, act as so and so. Your goal is to meet this goal. You should delegate this role to your AI assistant, give detailed instructions on how to achieve the best possible results to that goal. The prompt should consist fully of the name, the role, the company name, industry, product, service, business niche, persona, and then also apply proper attraction marketing principles and strategies, apply NLP methods to complete the agent task with focus on the agent goal, describe the results, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And what the probable end result is to reassess the result and divide the final content into its respective conversational goal and conversational purpose. And then that generates a prompt for the next AI, the worker AI, which is the one that's told, okay, now you need to go ahead and create this prompt from the resulting summarization that I gave you before. So in this case, I'm using Anthropic Claude 3 that allows it to use a little more, reliable source, we might say. And then it spits out a JS result. So I have the JavaScript. If I want to pump that into any other automation tool or anything of that sort, I can just grab it from there. It also stores the prompt into a Google Sheet with a result I'll show you in just a moment. And then it emails or delivers that prompt to the end user that's filling out the form or pushing the button in whatever assigned email is delivered. So what we get is a prompt that looks something like this. It's quite unique. It says the conversational goal and purpose for the AI chatbot agent can be defined as follows. And as you'll see, it creates a very outlined there. I did 3 of these, and I'll show you what happened. The first prompt was a very paragraphic style conversational goal, purpose in the realm of content marketing, and it explains all the things the bot should be doing, what its conversational goal and target audience would be, what its core purposes and ethical considerations should be, and where it can seek continuous improvement as it's speaking with its potential users. It was a fully formatted outline option with points and bullet points so that it was more of a numbered list of desired outcomes for the bot. And the one actually above that was even more so structured as a fully framed outline as conversational goal, section 1A, B, C with sub, titles and things of that nature. So I tried various prompts to see what the results would be. And these were just 3 of the ways that the bot was able to respond. And then I would receive on the other end, if I just pull up my Gmail real quick, I'll be able to show you the resulting email that came out where it says your prompt is ready. And here the prompt is delivered in its full effect in an email to the user. So all in a matter of fractions of seconds once the prompt's in. What do you think, Rush? Think that'll work?
I love it. So I actually like the way you daisy chained the AI together so that you actually have it building the prompt. It's really nice.
Works really well. It works really well. I was amazed when I saw the way it just took. I mean, that's where you can control the way the master AI is going to prompt the worker. So it puts you in like that presidential role of it builds a hierarchy of your business agents for you because you're the boss. You're telling your subordinate to go train that dude to do something. And when you start putting him in those roles, I think about the number of agents you could have working for you. Like I'm sure you do in Chat GPT for marketing purposes, accounting purposes, whatever it might be. But this kind of blew my mind when it came to just coming up with a quick prompt for what we try to do daily. And that's those 2, conversational goal and purpose. That's the most astounding goal and purpose built out I've seen it spit out yet. And I've been trying to do this manually a long time.
No, it's very similar to what I've been doing. You just added that extra step in there. Have you tried this with any other systems, or you just done it with Late Node? And is it because Late Node has it, or is it
next? It should work on any of them. It should, as long as you can connect the AI components. Everything that was done there were really just simple app auth connections on the back end.
Yeah, because really your webhook, your first prompt builder will hook back, and instead of hooking that into sending that directly, you send that variable to the next one. That's nice. I like that.
The beauty of this one though, Ross, that you could do, like the form's connected, but I haven't even gotten the prompt to connect yet. For some reason, I was trying to use our AIO form builder, and I was not having luck connecting to the, I can just take these variables and enter the data myself manually here if I want to.
What is that power up down there? The automation.
Yeah, this is it's just a setup to create global variables. So it's a variable node. You just drop the variable node in, set your keys and values, and then this can be, tweaked by adding this webhook to replace the values that you want it to each time you fire a form, or you just come in here and manually enter this stuff, by hand, and then hit the go button, and it goes through all these prompts for you.
I say,
and
let's
then,
sit down this week and let's build this out in every system
Yeah.
we can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And not only that one, but the next one I'm going to show you guys is my other,
It's impressive.
That's
my
really
other
interesting.
big one that I like is the one I just built. Now I had a little bit of help with some friends on YouTube to help with this build in particular. This one's done in Make, and it could also be done in Boost Space if you have a copy of that, which is really just an OEM of Make on top. So I created the AIO postbot in Make, and this one's a little different. What this one does is this is a social poster. Okay, so oops, sorry, I gotta get to the actual blown up screen here that I did. Okay, all right, should be able to get in here now. Come on, baby. Ah, you stupid thing. Because I'm screen sharing, it's gonna zoom my screen in. Okay, there we go. So this one's a little bit different, and it does access Chat GPT and Anthropic Claude and Perplexity on this one. Now, Perplexity for the sake of uploading a file to it, because what this one does is the Google Sheet or form that I've set up for this one. So let me just give you an idea here what I did for the front end. And I'm trying to make this really simple. It's actually a form. And the form is just this. It's one thing. You enter the URL of an article to curate for your social content. That's all it is. So relative to the niche, of course, you're going to go in and you're going to take that link and you're going to put it on the Google Sheet in any way you can, whether it's through a form or manually, it doesn't really matter. And what it's going to do is it's going to fire off, whether it's every 8 hours, every 12 hours, every day, every 10 minutes. I don't care how you do it. It's up to you. Perplexity will take, with the proper prompt, it'll take the URL and it'll go generate a summarization of the article that you send to it. So allowing it to create the summary, then you simply take that summary and put it through a router into 6 different locations. That router takes that content that was summarized and sends it back through Claude to create on the next prompt in a Facebook post with the proper hashtags and whatever choice selections you make for the message that was being altercated. And then it's not altercated. There's another word there that should be used. Anyway, and then you connect to OpenAI. In this case, I'm using it as a digital marketing specialist with expertise in SEO to create a viral Instagram post. And in following, I have GPT go to DALL-E 3 and create an image based on that message content summary that was created. And here it creates the image based on the actual article. I'm sorry, the articles that it creates from the summary. So the posts you guys have been seeing over at Best AI Podcast have been through this process. It goes through and it creates each stage one at a time and creates each post individually for each case. Now in X, I tried images. I had some problems with adding images to X, and it's tweeting okay, but for some reason I can't get it to do an image tweet. And then Anthropic here does a LinkedIn post. So again, each case is choosing professionally polished prompts to be able to tell each of these AI components how to properly do its chore. Oops. And then from there, the last one simply pulls a video from a Google Sheet that I go and grab, say it's a promo video or a commercial video or just a simple loop back video for a, like a splash video type intro like we do here. That's pulled from a separate column in the Google Sheet. So currently that's being done manually, but I expect to take that one step further and add a part where we'll just add a pre-generated link, either an API connection to a video processing engine or something of that sort, where it would take the content of the summary and then create a short AI video for it and upload that onto YouTube. So that'll be the intent. And that was it. So managed to pull both of those off in one weekend, believe it or not.
Wow.
It's incredible. You've been talking about it, I don't know, for weeks or months.
Yeah.
And finally, when you sit down and say, I'm going to actually build it,
Yeah.
one
It's
weekend,
not
man,
bad,
that's
man.
incredible.
And he'll get faster and faster at this now that he's done it. I mean, as you figure out these systems, it becomes like any other automation system. You just learn it and you can knock them out. Leland, actually, this one made me start thinking about whether or not we could build this in other systems. And I don't think we can. We
Not
might be
all of
able
it.
to in Pabbly and maybe in Zapier, but this one has the, I see you have it running every 12 hours. And Active Pieces does not have that every 12 hours. Actually, Pabbly didn't have the every 12 hours.
You
I think
sure
Make,
you can't? I think you can run Pabbly on a timer. We'll
let me
have to
check and
a look.
see.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good question.
I'll tell you, Pabbly does not have perplexity, so we can't do your other one either with the images.
Yeah, that's
Or we
true
can't do
too.
that with the images.
That's just for the summary. That takes a file upload. Now there are some others. We may be able to tap Genius is one, and then there's a couple others that have upload capabilities. We just have to look, and they'll continue to get better with that. That's another thing I wanted to incorporate into this as well. There are apps out there now. I just saw one on AppSumo today. I can't remember the name of it. It actually reads images and creates the caption for the image. And it can be as long as a whole blog post, literally. It can take an image and write a blog post from just the image, let's say. I'll tell you what it is, just so you guys can look.
From an image, not an article, huh?
Yes, from an
That's
image.
really cool.
It can take a single image. It is
You know what they say about a picture?
Vision.
It's worth 1,000 AI generated words.
I'm looking at it. This one, it ends in 5 hours here.
That's right. Image is worth 1,000.
I'm about to drop like $3
Text
grand
generation.
on AppSumo right now.
I know they're
Oh,
awful.
man.
What are
I
you
got
looking
m-
at? I could tell
And
you what you
Russ-
might not want to buy.
Russ, you can do the scheduled trigger in Active Pieces to run every X minutes,
Right.
X hours. It's
Can
under
you?
the core. Yeah,
Mhm.
under core. And then it's schedule. Trigger flow with fixed schedule.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that would work. And that's the same with late node as well. I think we could build the same thing on late node without a problem. And late node's free for they've got a lifetime offering too, similar to Pabbly. It's 240. They brought the 247 offer back on tier 1, which is like they sell out 1,000 of them at a time, and they're down to 840 something already. That one is like 3,000 operations a month, and they time by seconds, so they're timed way different. For what might cost $150 on Zapier, it might only cost $1.50 on late node, because if it's a 30-second flow and it could have 50 steps, if it's just a 30-second flow, that's one ticket, one token cost to you when you spend it out. Make, I don't like the way they're comparing to Make, because I think Make is about the same price really in essence, but they're making it out to be like it's more expensive on their ad site. And I think they're covering up some truth there. And I don't like what they're doing on their ad. I can see it in the way they're cutting the imagery from the Make site as to how it's really built. I'm just really happy with Make. I ran into a couple issues with late node only because it's more low code than no code. Make is a no code platform. Active Pieces is a no code platform. Zapier and Pabbly are both no code platforms, but they do allow for some code. So you got to kind of watch when you get into like Nathan.io and some of the other ones. Those are much less code, but they do use and utilize a lot of code. And then there's others that are just pure code. You can sit there and just JS the node out of it and go crazy, but you got to know your program code. So a lot of them out there, guys. A lot of them out there.
Leland, you just got my brain going, man. I'm excited to start building all these out more in depth, because I think we can go deeper than what you even did. And
I'm just touching the surface, dude.
yeah, man, this is where the power is going to be. And I think this is where you start seeing the future of AI going, because prompting is going to be such a powerful thing that needs to be done going forward. And you're going to have so many people adapting to AI that they're not going to be able to get as much out of it as those of us who've been doing this forever. So if we can lead the way, make it easier by having a form to fill out or a button to push, it's going to make this whole process simpler for people to adapt.
Yeah, I think prompt building is the key. Chris, I know you've been playing with a lot of prompts. What are you finding to be like the way to talk to it? Are you finding more intricate ways or simpler ways that, those prompts that you thought needed to be a mile long, and then you realize, oh, all I had to do was type 3 words. It did exactly what I told it to do with 5 sentences or whatever. Do you see that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it does seem to be pretty capable with some simple prompting, but just look at the end result. Is that what you were hoping for? If not, refine that prompt. And based off your suggestion with asking the AI to create the prompt for you, so you can describe to them, and the AI will then generate what it wants you to then use as a prompt. So I think that can be really helpful. And at the end of the day, once you get something working and you like the end result, you can now go back to that conversation and just say, how about this one? Or how about this one? That's what I'm using for the podcast title, description, and social post content creation. Now that the template was built with the prompt, it's just, here's the next guest, here's the next guest. So it's great to see what you can do with the AI and how prompts can make a difference with that.
So are you automating anything right now with prompts in your business?
With prompts specifically, no. I'm just automating a contract creation process. So basically, a form submission from a customer will then create the basic template. So basically, it starts with that form trigger. It will copy a Google document template, fill in the merge fields, and then save it in a folder for me. That's the first step of this process. After a manual review, the next step is going to be taking that folder and moving it to, taking that document and moving it to another sub folder, and then creating a calendar event on Google for you. It's incredible to see what automations you can do within Active Pieces, Make, and Pabbly.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries. Letting the cat out of the bag there.
Yep.
Yeah, but using that automation to create contracts for me, and you can move them through folders and create calendar appointments from them, and then send an email. So this is kind of just taking a bird's eye view of what your process is and replicating that and deciding where your human touch points need to be.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
the key.
And
Go ahead.
I think, I mean, you just replace an entire full-time staff position's job by doing that.
Right?
I mean, that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, I look
Yes.
at it as it's not to replace them, it's to, I wish that the people that had that position could learn these skills to the effect that
They
they would
can.
not lose their job. Well, that's what I'm saying, but some of them refuse to. Some
Well,
of them
that's
are afraid
choice.
to, and I don't want them to do that.
I don't
Chris, I
think
didn't
we'll
mean to
see.
step on you there. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that was perfect. I was hoping for some feedback from that. But just to piggyback off that, I think it's going to be important that not that people have to learn how to use AI, but that the leadership and management create the AI within the process that then takes less time for that human to fulfill, but then assign them to higher value tasks. So it's about
Yes.
making do with what you have currently.
Yep.
But
And
humans are
that's
humans.
really all. That's the way we've always operated in our society when you think about it.
Yeah. What do you think, Lee, should be the next evolutionary step when it comes to AI agents? Do you have a little menagerie of
You know,
vision
I
in your
don't know.
head there?
I don't. You know, I think what's going to happen is like most things I've seen, you know, being on the product development side of the house a number of years, we discovered that customers used our product for stuff we never even thought of. And I think that's the way it works. Is
Yeah.
you give people the capability, they'll go, oh wow, I can use it for this. I can use it, and you're like, wow, we never even thought about that.
That seems to be the case in most development teams.
Yeah.
And speaking of development teams, if you're not aware of the latest news for Ross and I, we made a big step. We decided to just kind of grab the bull by the horns and went straight at Ray Luan over at New Oaks AI and decided to tell him he needed us on his team. So we're in conjunction with his product, newoaks.ai, to try and help him build a brand for himself while we build a brand for ourselves underneath of that. So we each own white label brands. I'm running AIO chatbots. Ross is running, I believe,
AIVA digital assistants.
I love it. And I'm pretty sure Chris is going to be in this mix pretty soon too, as well as a white label owner of the brand, working his magic with AIO, AI chatbots of some sort or another. So what we're really excited about is the fact that we now have a very solid touch point with a very, very good and outstanding development team who are playing in the AI space and have been for a very large number of years. The two gentlemen we're involved with happen to be one was a general manager of auto sales over at ByteDance for TikTok, and the other sold a pretty big SaaS development to eBay about 10 years ago. So these guys aren't slouches. They know what they're doing. And every time we request new feature sets or cool things that we could be doing next, we swear it's like within a week or two, we see it on the table and it's operational. So look forward to that. We're going to be
Wow.
pumping out videos and content like crazy to help Ray get his brand going, because we ourselves rely on that brand to sustain our brand. And if you're any at all familiar with white label access and building a SaaS process, you rely on others, just like we do here at the broadcast. So we'll kind of show you guys how that evolves. Ross and I are going to be teaching people how to really run a white label type system over at New Oaks. And I'll be generating a lot of videos on how the system functions. And I'm sure Chris is going to step in there in some form or another, creating content of sorts as well. So looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
very exciting. It's a great tool.
Lee, what are you going to be doing over the summer when it comes to AI? You got some ideas? Anything? Or are you just going to back off and stay away from it?
No, are you kidding? I got more stuff going on than I'm still trying to get my automated characters going and working with people to be able to create more scripts and stuff like that. I was talking about to you guys earlier. Content is really my game, and creating more and more AI content.
And where do we find you from here on out until the summer's over?
Well, I think my witness protection program ends, so you should be able to find me
behind bars, huh? Okay,
that's right.
We get it.
Catgizmos.com is really where my efforts are going in right now. So that or photomentor.tv, either one.
Gotcha. All right, Chris, why don't you give us an idea of what's going on in your world over the summer? I know you're going to be busy DJing, so let's see how you can apply AI to your DJ business this summer, huh? Bring it on the weddings.
Yeah, absolutely. Been testing a little bit of it, but obviously with the wedding season going from May through October, it can suck a lot of time throughout the week and weekends to get new initiatives handled. However, I've been working with my assistant to take over a lot of those processes, so that way I can be more big picture and get my hands dirty with some of the tools and AI that's coming out. And honestly, it's hard to keep up, but still utilizing it. I'm using Suno to create basically, it's kind of like a theme song for some of these brands or entrepreneurs, just a fun little way to kind of create a song that's about them and helps build that relationship and gets their name out there a bit. And then using these processes and tools, we're going to be able to just the new personas, the conversational AI is going to be interesting, because this will be our new digital assistant. This will be able to take on a persona, translate for us. It will find documents. It will schedule appointments. So putting that all together is, it's a process, but we're seeing the tools come out now to make it a lot easier. And the fact that you could build an automation like yourself for social posting in a weekend is just incredible. Think of how much time that's going to save going forward for you. So it's a time saver. It's really cool. Gets more done with less time. But when I'm not working, I'll enjoy the summer too. We'll be going up north a bit, go to some concerts and festivals, and your typical summer barbecue hangout.
Absolutely. So, Ross, I know you and I are going to be spending a lot of time. Whoa, something just merged and isn't it lagging me big time? My arm's still in the air out there. Let's get it going. There we go.
You're back.
I feel like my cat that can't move his back leg. I'm like that thing.
I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Yeah, okay, that's all good. I can think of a lot of things. So tell us what you're going to be doing with AI over the summer, Ross. What do you think?
I'm going to continue to develop systems that make it easier for businesses to scale. I mean, at the end of the day, that's my number one focus. I want to make the technology less expensive and easier to access for businesses across the board. And I'm going to be diving into that as deep as possible. And we will be breaking everything we can to make a better version.
Yeah, I think I just broke something again. What's breaking? I went to my desktop share and it just blew out for some reason. So
There it goes.
I was just going to share the fact. I was going to share the broadcast page where we're broadcasting to today out at Best AI Podcast is our Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group at Best. I can guarantee that. I'll give you that much going forward. But we'll be planning out some more stuff in the future. So watch for the posts. They will come through here. You can see the broadcast here that we're putting out currently. And take a look at the posts. So this was one of the posts that was done by my AIO post bot. You can see all the really cool emojis and imagery that was created on the fly with my little process there that we showed you a little earlier. The next will be to have the AI answer Ross McCamey next time he comes in and says, this is epic. So hopefully that'll be our next evolutionary step of the post bot. And
watch out, Ross. He's trying to work you out of a job, man. I can tell. He's trying to go after you.
That's
Not
all
at all.
right. It's going to make me have to go even higher.
That's right. It's all about iron sharpening iron around here, guys. So
That's right.
until next time, which isn't going to be for a while, look for us at the workshops on Wednesday at noon, where Ross and I are going to steam head that. Anyone's welcome to that. Just go register. And if you don't find it, I'll be dropping it all over the place. You'll be sure to locate it sooner or later. So thanks again, guys, for coming by. I appreciate all your time. If it weren't for you guys, this really wouldn't be a show. I'd just be out here talking to everybody.
Likewise,
Have a-
Leland.
Have
Thanks
a
for all your
great
hard
summer,
work.
Leyland.
man,
Yes,
thank you.
thanks.
All right, I'm sure we'll all be in touch weekly, if not bi-daily. Is that a word? Somewhere.
Twice a
Bi-daily.
day, you mean?
Or we'll get together and talk AI. So for all you out there, enjoy. Don't let it freak you out. It's just a toy. We'll talk to you next time, everybody. See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. The best AI podcast where we'll continue to grow. A world of innovation where dreams become reality. Come join the movement, let's take AI to the next level. We're breaking barriers, rewriting the code. Together we'll conquer, watch our ideas unfold. The future starts here, joining the revolution.